Be healthy, be your best. Be your best.
So, we're going to dive into our subject today that has some personal meaning for me. It's been developing more and more over the last couple decades. You see more and more of them, and that's tattoos. You can see here a picture of a lady with a beautiful floral arrangement on her back. And just as a disclosure, I wanted to let you know that on my back, I have one that's about this big by this big, and I'll let you know more about it later. So, what are we going to discuss today? We're going to talk a little bit about the pigments that are in tattoos, some of the health risks, some of the things to be careful with, just a second or two on tattoo removal, and then the emotional attachment to tattoos and why that's very important. Let's dive into some of the inks that are used first. So, black pigment. Black pigment has carbon black in it, iron oxides, nickel, that might be from the impurities that are in the iron oxides, and then a benzopyrene. White has a titanium dioxide and zinc, and recently it's often replaced with barium sulfate and white lead. So you might want to talk to your tattoo artist and see which one he's using and why. Red orange has cadmium sulfide in it, cadmium selenide, and a mercury sulfide. That last one is generally not used anymore. So here again, talk to the artist that you're working with and see what he's using and why. Yellow, cadmium sulfide, and pigments are used from the white that we talked about to make the yellow brighter. Green has cobalt, chromium oxide, and then a cyanine green or blue, and then cobalt mixed with lead chromate. Purple has cobalt manganese. And then these are two different type ones, black light and glow in the dark. So there's fluorescent dye in backlight and phosphorus in glow in the dark. Many artists consider the phosphorus unsafe to use. So here again, you want to do research and really dig into what the particular artist that you're working with is using, and then make some informed decisions on what you want used with you. Then you have carriers and additives, ethyl alcohol, methanol, propylene glycol, glycerin. Some inks have formaldehyde. There's wetting agents, stabilizers, thickening agents. There's a lot to consider when you're getting a tattoo. There's also vegan inks, and those are ones that are vegan friendly that don't contain any animal byproducts. So why do we want to be cautious? Well, let's look at it from a skin, blood, lymph, and liver standpoint. Colored inks cause more allergic reactions than black ink. There's possible contamination with bacteria. There's potential carcinogenics in the different inks that are used. And then after application, a portion of the ink can be carried by blood vessels into the blood system and the lymphatic system as well. It then can be excreted, but it also can be stored. So this changes from individual to individual. You'll have some people that it just totally gets excreted, and you'll have other people where a lot of it ends up being stored in different parts of the body. Now, one of the complications from this is when in the medical industry, they're doing different imaging processes. So, for example, if there's an MRI that's done, what can happen is the person interpreting the results of the scan can misinterpret the pigments in the lymph nodes as an abnormal result. So that's something to just really make sure that if you have a tattoo, that you inform your doctor so that they aren't looking at your scans and then thinking that you have possible abnormal results. So why do we in our office scan people with tattoos for possible problems? Because if there's any evidence when we're scanning that the person possibly had a subpar application where there was equipment that was shared or improperly cleaned, and we also look for frequencies in the liver that show an indication that we really need to support it and detox it from any heavy metals, any chemicals associated with the tattooing. And these are things that don't necessarily show up right away. So somebody can get a tattoo and this isn't going to show up in necessarily in just a week or two. Some can, some of the allergic reactions, like to the colored ink can. But a lot of these things actually can even show up years later. So it's important to, if you are having any of these symptoms at all, when you go to a health provider, to let them know that you have tattoos, if like mine, they aren't visible. Then there's tattoo removal. Um, some of you may be interested in tattoo removal. It could be that the tattoo that you got no longer has any real significant emotional attachment like it once did. Or it might be that out of health concerns, they decided to have a tattoo removed. There's a lot of different methods now for tattoo removal. It's not just laser, and more holistic approaches are being developed. So you have to consider, if you don't have any tattoos, sometimes you may look at people that have them and wonder, why did they do that? Well, many people have some really strong emotional ties to their tattoos. They may have put on themselves a tattoo of a deceased loved one, or sometimes their tattoos have symbols that for them are a really tangible reminder of the strength, the resilience, the personal growth, the journey that you've taken through life. And others closely associate their tattoo with their own self esteem and self identity. So these factors need to really be considered. One, when you see other people that have tattoos that you think, why? I wonder why they got that. Or at the same time, if you yourself are thinking about getting a tattoo, thinking about it being permanent, because removal can be a little bit tricky, and also really considering the emotional attachment and the reasons why you want to get that tattoo, and really putting a lot of thought into it, put a lot of consideration into the different reasons why you want that tattoo and how you're going to feel about it years later. So I'm going to dive a little bit more into the tattoo that I got. Um, I have family history that has a lot of fire in it. Some families have plane accidents, some people have water incidents. Our family happens to have a lot of fire incidences. And so I had about 30 incidences in my life that involved fire. One of them, a massive explosion. Another one, my car burnt to the ground in a post office parking lot. A lot of different things with fire. And so I decided to design a tattoo that I could put on my back so that the power of fire would be back there, but no longer causing problems in my life energetically. So I drew it all up, took about a year to design it, drew it all up, took it to the tattoo artist. And it actually was kind of comical because he looked at it and he looked at me and he's like, lady, you're about 50 years old. Um, Usually you go to Vegas and you end up with a butterfly or something cute on your ankle that you don't know how it got there. You're going to have to tell me the story about this one, or I can't do this. So I told him the story. And when I got done, he was all excited because my tattoo was a full color tattoo. And it was of a lady on her hands and knees, nude, with fire coming out of her back, spindling, turning into a supernova, and having roots go down into the ground. And so he, it took 12 hours, but he did my tattoo. It turned out beautifully. And I've never been sorry that I got it because in all the years since I got that tattoo, I've never had another fire incident in my life. The power is back there to move me forward, but it stays back there. So I had a lot of emotional reasons, a lot of attachment to getting my tattoo. And I am still to this day glad that I got it. So I hope that this helps you think about some of the things with tattoos, making sure that your artist uses really good, clean equipment, sterilized equipment. Talk about the type of colors you want, the risks of the ink. Consider your own health situation when you're getting the tattoo. There's a lot of satisfaction that you can get from having a tattoo that means a lot to you. But at the same time, there are cautions and there are different things to consider when you're going to get one. The ink you can use and the components to consider is one of the things that can make it where if you are getting a
Be
tattoo,
happy,
you will be happy, satisfied, and
be
healthy about it
healthy,
for all the
be
years to
your
come.
best.